Ours is not a system of justice where foot soldiers go to jail and the masterminds and ringleaders get a free pass.
What an absolutely powerful moment from yesterday. Foot soldiers go to jail. The ringleaders get a free pass. No. And I love how he said it compels us to speak. Nobody was celebrating at the end of that hearing. No. They were compelled by their love of America to speak. Liz Cheney talking about the orderly transfer of authority, nothing short of a miracle. That's what we were taught in grade school. At least that's what I was taught in grade school.
We have Jamie Raskin coming up.
That's how we do it. David Remnick, the New Yorker, thankfully is going to be publishing this, putting the work of the January 6th committee all together. I want to go back, though, to something that you wrote an hour or two after Donald Trump was elected president of the United States. So extraordinarily prescient. You predicted all of this, and you had said this basically is where we're going to end up, and here we are.
Well, I've never been sadder to be right. I've been wrong about a lot of things, but I've never been sadder to be right. And this is. Think about the last few weeks before this report comes out. You have a president of the United States who is the level of his shamelessness knows no bounds. Even after he suffers terrible losses in the midterm elections, he decides to run for president. Despite the contrary evidence and advice of everybody around him, he has dinner with a fascist. And then he has a big announcement, an enormous announcement, and then he shamelessly hawks for $99 a piece superhero trading cards of himself. He is a shriveled, deluded figure. And I think the work of the committee, which was methodical and extraordinary, I was up till very late last night reading this 150-page summary. The report will be much longer, is astonishing. And it even spilled over into its last day when you had a figure like Hope Hicks, who could not have been a more loyal satrap to Donald Trump, admitting that even in the days before January 6th, he was dismissing any notion that he tell his followers to be nonviolent at the demonstration. He knew this was going to happen and he welcomed it. And when it came, he held back. And the report's methodical analysis of this will stand for history. What Merrick Garland does remains an open question. And what the core of Trumpist voters do over time is an open question, which is very troubling too. There are still millions of people who are his followers. But I think he is a shriveled, diminished figure on the political scene, and one has to hope that this is at least the beginning of the end of his story.
A shriveled, diminished, deluded figure, which is exactly what you see when reading the Washington Post extraordinary look at Mar-a-Lago right now. Claire McCaskill, we're talking about ordinary transfer of authority being a miracle. I must say, for most observers of this January 6th committee, for me, I heard you yesterday and you said it so right. I hate these committees for the most part because usually it's 5 minutes. And I see somebody grandstanding for 5 minutes and the next person grandstands for 5 minutes. And as you said yesterday, everybody wants to get their viral soundbite for the day. And what I always complained about committees and said, well, why don't they do it this way? I'll be damned if the January 6th committee didn't do it the way that you said yesterday they should have, and the way I've always thought they should have done it. It's a bit of a miracle that actually happened in Congress.
Yeah, the egos in Congress get in the way of telling a cohesive story to the American people. The partisanship and the egos. And what was really miraculous about this committee was it's the first time I've ever seen a committee in Congress that wasn't about individual members of the committee. It was about the investigation. That was the main character in the committee. And everyone absolutely showed loyalty to that investigation and not to elbowing somebody else out of the room, not to grandstand, not to take cheap shots. They were very, as you said earlier, they were very solemn. They were very serious. They were very focused. And they used they used pictures and video to tell an astounding story. I mean, if somebody just was given that 150-page summary in Hollywood and was told, this is the script I've written, I think a lot of producers of movies would say, it's just too unrealistic. It's just too unbelievable. But they laid it out. So with my hat as a member of Congress, I was totally impressed with what this committee managed to do. As a prosecutor, I was in awe of how they've laid out the case with an executive summary that was, in fact, an opening statement in a criminal trial.